Our sign interpreter tonight is Moses Gitonga. Now, the government might fail to sustain the 3 trillion shillings for the 2018-2019 financial budget if they withdraw the 16% value-added tax on petroleum products. According to a section of legislators, heavy borrowing by the government has led to financial crisis in the country, which the poor Mwananchi might be forced to bear.
Is being squarely blamed for the 16% value-added tax on petroleum products since they refused to address the issue when it mattered. Although, according to the Senate Minority Leader James Orengo, the executive is to blame for the situation in the country for the huge debt as of now, this here senator calling the CS for Treasury Henry Outrage to take responsibility for this matter.
Outrage stands accused because there are now 3 significant things in a row which had related to his decisions, which he must take full account. One was the Eurobond affair and the effects of that Eurobond. You can see what is happening in the moment. I think wherever he is, he should be going back to the government and going to the president and said, you know, I can't take this anymore alone. There should be a statement from State House that this is not Outrage. Sugar was not Outrage. It was a directive from cabinet. Eurobond was not Outrage. It was a directive by cabinet or government.
The finance bill on VAT was introduced in the House in 2016, but was then pushed to 2018. But in the 2-year period, Parliament did nothing to salvage the situation.
I remember it was towards an electioneering year, and most of us were busy with the elections. And again, don't forget that by 2016, we were hopeful that within 2 years, the issue to do with oil in Turkana will be in our markets. So putting VAT on a product that we are producing here was not going to affect us economically. What we didn't expect was that we will get to 2018 the same way we were in 2015, 2016, and it was overtaken by events.
The country now being said to be in a catch-22 situation since the implementation of the VAT will pain the common Mwananchi. Although if the government fails to implement the VAT, then the nation might not be able to sustain its budget as well as pay the huge debt in the country.
On a catch-22 where we need to tax here, at the same time we don't need to tax it. We need to tax to resolve the issues with IMF and World Bank. We don't need to tax again to resolve the issues that the cost of living is high, and we're worsening it when we put VAT on oil. That is the catch-22 that I'm talking about. We are in a financial crisis. We must agree that we are broke as a country.
The Jubilee government, I think they made a lot of promises. And the debt crisis in this country, I think if anybody was thinking that it is something that we can resolve by legislation or by a walk in the park, that is not going to be the case.
Governors on their part have warned that the implementation of the 16% tax on fuel is likely to renew the clamor for higher pay by workers. Kilifi Governor Salim Vuria decrying the situation.
I've looked at even some of the areas in Kwale County and the coast region. Already it's biting from fares, from the cost of food, from the cost of construction, and actually is going to be a big threat to the realization of the Big Four agenda. So I really urge His Excellency the President to intervene so that this particular tax is not charged on petroleum products. What refers to
the solid question, however, is which way for the government to service the huge debt and the budget we have as a country.
Individuals who have looted on their own, one person 200 billion, 250 billion. That's why you have seen some of them are acting like they are generous, contributing 5 million in a fundraiser. Those are money meant for services, not for personal contributions, because we are losing a lot of resources.
I think the truth of the matter is that we are headed for very bad times. And I think it would be good for the government to come out more openly and share with the public the times to come, because I think this is not going to be resolved in a day. And the current fuel crisis is a symptom of a far deeper problem in the nation, and it has been caused basically by debt. We have overborrowed, and we have decided to live beyond our means.
Kenyans now waiting to see if President Uhuru Kenyatta will sign into law the Finance Act 2018 that postpones the implementation of the VAT for 2 more years until 2020. But for now, they'll have to bear the imposition of the VAT tax on petroleum products, which is a burden to the cost of living. Irene Mwangi, KUTV.